Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have my second Mirror Cup tournament, and I did win this too as well. So we went back-to-back Mirror Cups wins, and I have one more Mirror Cup coming up next week, which is going to be the regional format. This format was the Boulder Cup, and yeah, so it was a 5-round tournament. We had 18 people, so it was very competitive. Everybody I battled was really talented, really skilled at the game, so it was a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at my team. So I do have Torterra, Metacham, Skarmory, Gallade, Bronzong, and Swampert, and I'm going up against Green Heron, who has Bronzong, Swampert, Skarmory, Torterra, Magneton, and Metacham. So it's a very similar team. She does have that Magneton instead of the Gallade. So we have one difference, but for the most part, we have the same exact identical team. And throughout this entire tournament, guys, I have to tell you, I only used 3 Pokemon. I only used Swampert, Metacham, and Skarmory. Not in that particular order, but I did only use those Pokemon. I wasn't feeling comfortable with Bronzong, to be honest with you. I felt like I hadn't practiced with it enough, so perhaps I should have switched it out. I had thought about switching it out to Probopass, but I decided to go with this team, and I just never used Gallade or even Torterra. I do like Torterra. It does do well against basically everything besides Skarmory, because Skarmory double resisted. I mean, it's even doing damage to Bronzong, but I just never used it. But either way, you might remember Green Heron. She was the organizer of the last tournament. She isn't for this tournament because we played somewhere else, but she did come and participate as the rest of us did. So we do go ahead and take game 1. So that was a very good game. So for the next game, we had Metacham versus Metacham. And by the way, guys, I did still speed up the video, but it's not as sped up as it usually is. And that's just because this is a tournament video. So I was like, you know what? Let's enjoy it. You know, it's about a half hour, a little bit less than a half hour. So grab some popcorn, while you're watching this. Have some snacks, enjoy yourself, and maybe prepare for your Boulder Cup tournament or whatever cup you happen to have. But she's going to go ahead and fire back with a power-up punch against me. Both of us still have our shields. She does get off a move. I decided to let it go through. I knew an ice punch would knock me out, but it was a power-up punch, so I do go ahead and fire off a power-up punch as well. And I was hoping she would block this, so she did. Not that was a bad play to block. I was just hoping she would, just so we could take a shield. And we do bring in Skarmory, which will be able to finish off that Metacham before it gets to another power-up punch. So she does go ahead and bring in Swampert, which is a good counter to Skarmory, but we are up shields, and we have that Sky Attack ready to go. So we switch into Swampert, and we decide to... Do I shield this? Yeah, I do shield it. I thought I let that go, but we decided to shield that. And I guess just not to take damage, we match shield at that point, and then she burns her last shield, so we still are up a shield, so that is good for us. We decide to take this Hydro Cannon, figuring I could get to another one, as I do, so we are able to get to another Hydro Cannon, which I know cannot be blocked, so I do go ahead and fire that off against her Swampert. And then we're waiting to see what the final Pokemon is going to be, and it will be Skarmory. So we actually managed to get off another Hydro Cannon, which is huge for us. At the end of the day, I still feel like we would have won this match, but we still would have won because we were still up a shield, but that definitely ensured it, I guess. So we do go ahead and block this Sky Attack, and, we're just going to farm up to a Flash Cannon. She has no shield, so she can't block it. We're going to be able to finish her off. So fantastic game. Always a pleasure to battle her. And you'll see her more on the channel because we're working on becoming Ultra Friends. We're not there quite yet, but we'll get there soon, and she'll definitely be on the channel again. So jumping into my next opponent. Now this is actually a good friend of mine. His name is Corveras, so that's what we call him, Corveras. So anyway, he's using Melmetal, Swampert, Skarmory, Torterra, Claydol, which was interesting, and Metacham. So let's go see what happens. So right now he has Metacham against my Swampert. Now I didn't really know how to deal with Claydol, so that was interesting. That was a Pokemon I never even considered. I gotta be real with you guys. I never even thought about Claydol as an option for this cup, but... Anyway, right now we have the Swampert against Metacham, and Metacham will get off that power-up punch. We will block because we can get to another Hydro Cannon, and I figured, why not? it's worth it to take his last shield. So we do go ahead and take his last shield, and I'm going to bring in my Medicham to use Power Up Punch against his Medicham, which will give us a boost. Unfortunately, he gets off another move against us before we can finish him off, but that's okay because it's only a Power Up Punch, so we could definitely take that, and then we do finish him off. So he brings in that annoying Claydol, and Claydol does resist Power Up Punch, but it's weak to Ice Punch. It still doesn't do a lot, but it is weak, so we're going to be able to switch into Skarmory to catch the Earth Power. So I didn't know much about Claydol, but I knew it had Earth Power, so I was able to correctly switch in to catch it with Skarmory without using a shield. And so right now he switches into Skarmory against my Skarmory. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point because we took the energy from Claydol. We have a shield, where Skarmory is basically evenly matched. He's a little bit ahead of us, but I do decide to go ahead and burn my shield on that one just because I figured I could get to a Flash Cannon and I could use it to almost knock him out. I don't think that knocks it out. No, it does not knock it out, but it comes close. He is able to knock us out, so that's okay. That is okay. So firing off a Sky Attack against us, and then we bring in Medicham. He does switch to Claydol before allowing Skarmory to go down. So we get off a Power Up Punch, and we're able to finish off Claydol before we get knocked out, and then Skarmory comes in and we knock him out with a counter before a Power Up Punch. So that was a very, very close game. So nicely played, nicely played. Always a pleasure. You'll be seeing him more on the channel as well. You'll be seeing like all these people more on the channel. We're Ultra Friends. We're going to be battling to prepare for like the regional cup this weekend, and I'm going to be battling other people once we reach Ultra Friends. So right now, Swampert versus Medicham. In this situation with both shields, generally Medicham will win it if you use or if you commit both shields, but then you take both the shields from Medicham, so it's like I kind of like being Swampert in this situation, but let me know what you would prefer, Swampert or Medicham. And as you can see, we're going to fire off. We only take one shield, but again, that's okay. We lose the Pokemon, we lose switch advantage, but we do take a shield, so it's always nice to take a shield. So we're going to go ahead and fire off a Power Up Punch. Now, I was a little confused at this point because he blocked that. So I was like, why would you block that? Even to get off an Ice Punch, why would you block that? I was really confused. Bam, Psychic. Knocks my Medicham out. So he told me after the match that he learned to use Psychic from Battle Heal. So it's like, Battle Heal, what are you doing? You're giving my opponents all these strategies. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around. But in the mirror match, Psychic is going to absolutely wreck Medicham, and nobody's going to expect it. So, nicely done, nicely done. I was in a good position up until that point, in my opinion, and now he has his Melmetal against my Skarmory, so I'm like, I'm thinking of Game 3. I wasn't really even expecting, like, there was nothing I could really do at this point. That Psychic just totally caught me off guard. Like, after that Psychic came out, like, my face just went completely white as a ghost. I couldn't believe it. I was totally shocked. I was not expecting it at all. I thought that block was a mistake, but it was actually a good play. So we're moving on to Game 3. So nicely played, really nicely played. So maybe consider Psychic on your Medicham if you think you're going to have a Medicham mirror match. But right now, my Medicham versus his Swampert, we do get off the Power Up Punch against him, and we're going to go ahead and get off another Power Up Punch against him, so it's definitely good for us. That will be met with a shield. He used both of his shields, didn't he? At this point, I believe so. So I'm going to go ahead and block this Hydro Cannon. We could have taken it. He did use both of his shields. But I switches into Melmetal, and I was confused. Maybe that was a misclick, because I don't know why you would switch into Melmetal against Medicham. That might have been a misclick. I don't know. But either way, maybe he meant to bring in Medicham, probably did. But anyway, at this point, I know he has Psychic on it. So we hit him with an Ice Punch, and then we switch out into Skarmory, and he's down shields. I'm down shields as well. But I know that if he's down shields, Skarmory does beat Medicham if Medicham has no shield, because we could get to that Sky Attack. I'm not going to need the Sky Attack. He actually switches into Swampert, and once I saw the switch, I immediately clicked on Sky Attack. However, because I didn't hit that Excellent on the Sky Attack, it doesn't knock out Swampert, and Swampert is able to not knock us out because he hits us with Muddy Water, which was another interesting pick. I think he used Muddy Water earlier in the rounds as well. but I just didn't pick up on it. But either way, we go ahead and win that. So very, very nicely played. Can't wait to battle you again in the future. So we're moving on to round 3 against Ednog, and he was the tournament organizer for this round, so very fun to play him. It's always a pleasure to play him. This is the second tournament we've played in, and always a pleasure. As I said, he did beat me in the last tournament we played. Not the last one, but it was like a few tournaments ago. It's a couple months ago, I think. And so I'm back for revenge. I want to win. But he goes ahead and fires off a sky attack against my Skarmory. So I'm going to go ahead and get off that flash cannon. By the way, he has that Magneton, Swampert, Skarmory, Torterra, Gallade, and he also has Medicham. So let's see how we do. And also, I forgot to mention, this is actually game 2. I lost game 1. For some reason, I don't have that footage. I know I recorded every game, so I don't know why I don't have that footage. But we did lose game 2, and we're just going into game 3. So, forgot to mention that. I do apologize for that. But I did legitimately lose game 1. I just don't have that footage for some reason. So he does knock out my Skarmory, and I'm going to go ahead and think about which Pokemon to bring in, letting the switch timer running down a little bit. I do bring in that Medicham, and we go ahead and block this incoming Sky attack and knock out his Skarmory. Now he brings in his Glade, and I'm going to go ahead and get off a Power Up Punch. I'm surprised he didn't immediately click Leaf Blade. I could have sworn he was at a Leaf Blade at that point, but maybe he was waiting for the Swampert. I guess he was. But not a bad play, but we go ahead and block it. I was afraid at this point he was at 2 Leaf Blades, but we're actually able to finish him off before he goes for the Leaf Blade, thankfully. And then he brings in his Swampert, so we get off a Hydro Cannon against him. And that's not going to knock him out. He actually gets off a Hydro Cannon against us. Now, I was hoping, please don't be Earthquake. Please don't be Earthquake. It's not. It's Hydro Cannon. We survive. We get off a Hydro Cannon. If he went for Earthquake, he would have knocked us out. He said he was at Earthquake, but he thought Hydro Cannon was going to knock us out. Now, I should have went for Earthquake, probably, because that probably would have knocked him out. Would it have knocked out a full health Swampert? I'm not 100% sure. If not, then I guess I made the correct play, but I don't know. But either way, he should have definitely went for it because he would have knocked us out. But either way, this is game 3. So he switches into Torterra, and I'm going to pull the switch into my Skarmory and just farm up this Torterra as much as possible. I do decide to block this because Stone Edge would have not knocked us out, but we would have still taken some damage from it. So I decided to block it, and we just farm Torterra all day long, firing off a Sky Attack. Not really wanting to hit the Magneton with Sky Attack, but, I thought it would do more just because of how squishy Magneton was. That's why I felt comfortable going for it. But no, I guess not. And he takes it again. He takes a Flash Cannon. So Magneton is low at this point, plus he lost his Torterra. So we're in a pretty good position, although he is up a shield. So we do have to be careful for that. But I do bring in my Medicham, which will be able to knock out his Magneton. And now it's Medicham versus Medicham. And we get off a Power Up Punch, basically just looking to increase my attack. Now, I believe he did say he had Psychic on his as well. I could be wrong. Actually, it could have been somebody else I'm thinking of. I'm not too sure, but it could be him. I don't remember, honestly, guys. But I wasn't even thinking about Psychic at this point. So, again, could have lost to it. I do decide to block that Power Up Punch because I knew I could get to a Hydro Cannon. So we do go ahead and get to that Hydro Cannon, and it does quite a bit of damage to him. And now we bring in Medicham, and feeling pretty comfortable at this point. Now, if it was a Psychic, he would have won. But even an Ice Punch... No, he does have Ice Punch. That's my bad. It wasn't Psychic. I guess it was someone else I was thinking of. So we get off a Power Up Punch, and we do go ahead and take Game 3. So we win that round. So 3-0 right now in the tournament. So at this point, there were, I believe, 3 3-0s. It was me, Jokes, and Ice Savager. So we're going up against somebody. We're paired down. We're going up against Dalthering. He is using Lucario, Swampert, Skarmory, Torterra, Claydol, and Medicham. So we have that Claydol again. So right now we have Swampert against his Medicham, and we're going to go ahead and fire off a Hydro Cannon. He will use his Power Up Punch. He does block that Hydro Cannon, which, is always good for us. I'm okay with them blocking. I'm okay with Medicham blocking it or Medicham taking it because we do a lot of damage or we take a shield. So we're going to pull the switch to try and catch the Power Up Punch with Medicham, which is exactly what happened. So we do get that. Plus, we're going to get a power-up punch off of our own, which will not knock it out, but we're able to finish him off with a counter before he gets to another power-up punch, which is good for us. Now he brings in the Claydol. Going to fire off an Ice Punch, hoping he would think it was a power-up punch and not block. And because we're buffed, it's going to be doing a little bit more damage, so I'll definitely take that. And then we're going to get off a power-up punch against his Claydol, and he does decide to block that. So we do go ahead and take his last shield. So we are up 2 shields, so pretty good position in my opinion. I do allow that Earth Power to go through. I decided not to block it because I knew Confusion would probably wipe me out in one more move anyway. One more turn. So he does switch into Swamp It. We're going to immediately fire off a Sky Attack, actually hitting the Excellent, and then switching into Swamp It, trying to get to that Hydro Cannon. I do block because I knew Mud Shots would not be enough to knock me out. So I do block and get off a Hydro Cannon right now, which will knock out his Swamp It, and now he brings in his Claydol, and we'll just finish him off with Mud Shots, actually. So we do go ahead and take this game. So good game. Gonna go ahead and jump into game 2 against Daltharang. We're almost Ultra Friends, by the way, I think. Unless we reached it. No, I think we're close. I'm not too sure, but anyway, Metacham versus Metacham. This is the mirror match that you guys know Psychic would come in handy. However, we're going to go ahead and use Power Up Punch right now against his Metacham, and he is going to let it go through, and then he's going to fire off a move, either Ice Punch or Power Up Punch. It is going to be Power Up Punch. Boosting his attack, we get off a Power Up Punch as well. So we're going to go ahead and boost our attack some more. And I believe I do decide to go for the power-up punch because I figured this could knock him out at this range. But it actually doesn't. It was close. If I got the excellent, it would have. So I need to practice my excellence on the fighting types as well as the flying, because I have trouble with those two guys. I really do. So we're gonna go ahead and fire off another power up punch. Again, a great. He does block it. That doesn't matter. So at least we take a shield. So we're even on shields at this point. And we're going to go ahead and think about it for a little bit. I do decide to bring in the Skarmory to block this Hydro Cannon. And just because I don't want to take it. And he actually has another Hydro Cannon, so we're going to be taking it. I thought he probably was at 2, but he decides to go ahead and fire off the second one. Trying to finish him off, but it wasn't able to happen before he gets off another Hydro Cannon. So basically looking like a lost cause right now, because he is still up a shield. We do feint him with Mud Shot, which is good, but his final Pokemon is Torterra. Maybe we would have had a chance if it was not Torterra, but it was, so he goes ahead and wins game 2. So that was a good game. Moving on to game 3 as well. For this one, we lead with Swampert, and he leads with Skarmory. I love leading with Swampert. I think only once during this tournament, one person led with Torterra. I think people are afraid to lead with Torterra. But anyway, we go ahead and take his shield. He does switch into his own Swampert. Now, I was about ready to switch, expecting the Torterra, but then I was like, you know what? It's a fellow Swampert. I'm going to stick around. We're already up a shield. Not now because we did block his, but we have a Hydro Cannon ready to go. So then we do pull the switch into Metacham, and I decide to go ahead and block this. So I do give up my last shield, but I know we have plenty of energy. He has a Skarmory though, so that's really unfortunate for us. So he goes ahead and fires off a Sky Attack. We do get off this Power Up Punch, which is good, but that Skarmory is really scary. So because Metacham, it could take a Sky Attack, but not well, right? So getting off another Power Up Punch, and then he's able to finish us off with fast moves. So we still have a Skarmory and a Swampert. So I bring in my Skarmory knowing that whatever move it throws at me, I could take it. And it's going to be a Sky Attack, so we could take that, just farming up Skarmory. However, he does switch into Metacham, and when I saw Metacham, I was actually happy because Metacham cannot beat Skarmory if it's not winning in shields. So we're going to go ahead and take these power punches. I knew I could get to another Sky Attack, so I'm feeling pretty good. As you can see, we do get to that Sky Attack, and we fire off a Sky Attack against his Metacham, which will knock it out. And then he'll bring in his final Pokemon, which is going to be that Skarmory. I do switch into my Swampert to take the Sky Attack. I knew I could take it, but I didn't really expect to get off the Hydro Cannon. I was hoping I would get off the Hydro Cannon, but we do get it off, and we do feint him. I was planning on sacrificing my Swampert and then bringing out Skarmory because I didn't want him and see what happens there. But either way, anyway, we're moving on to the finals. Ice Savager, he's using Bastiodon, Swampert, Skarmory, Totara, Claydol again, and Medicham. So you guys might remember Ice Savager. He was in the finals with me again in the Twilight Cup. So really nice to be battling him again in the finals. So we get off a Hydro Cannon against his Claydol. Definitely a powerful matchup for me because Swampert is going to be super effective. We did take one of his shields. He took one of ours. But we're going to be able to feint him down with Mud Shots before he's able to feint us down. So luckily for us. So I do decide to go ahead and fire off this Hydro Cannon. So even against Totara, it still does a lot of damage. And unfortunately, we were not able to get off another one. I could have switched there, but I thought I was at 2 Hydro Cannons, so I decided not to switch. And I'm glad I didn't because he brings in Bastiodon, so I'm going to switch into my my Medicham. So this is definitely a good matchup for us. Feeling confident. No need to block. We could take Stone Edges. We resist them. We could take Flamethrowers. So we're just going to knock out that Pokemon easily and then just go for the straight up Ice Punch. No need to really try and bluff. I mean, yes, he has a shield, but we're going to win this because we have a Skarmory in the back. So we do go ahead and take this win. So we take game 1 pretty nicely, so pretty well. Good game, though. We're going to jump into game 2 against Ice Savager. So beginning with Swampert, he does begin with his Skarmory. And this is, again, a good matchup for me, in my opinion, because we get to the Hydro Cannon first, which is either going to usually force a shield. Usually you do decide to block that, but because that Hydro Cannon just does a lot of damage. So I'm going to block the Sky Attack. I could have taken it and got off a Hydro Cannon, but I decided to block it. He switches into Medicham. I'm going to pull the switch into Skarmory. So we're definitely going to win this matchup because that Medicham is super weak, super low. So, yeah, he does have a shield. I have a shield, but we could still win this. However, the problem is we lag a little bit, which allows him to get off this Power Punch, which is going to force me to use my shield. If we didn't lag, I didn't say anything about it. It's not. I didn't really care. I don't like asking for rematches, but if we didn't lag, we probably would have won this game. I don't know, but either way, it's not a big deal. It's probably difficult to notice the lag because the video is sped up, but it's okay. I believe he got off 2 extra counters because of the lag. I'm not too sure, but either way, it's fine. It's no big deal. I'm sure he didn't even notice it anyway. But anyway, we go ahead and fire off a Power Up Punch. We switch into Swampert to take the Sky Attack. We're not going to be able to take it. And then we bring in Medicham. So definitely not looking good for us. He is up a shield, and he's going to be able to get to his Sky Attack. He doesn't even have to block. Actually, he did have to block it if he wanted to get to his Sky Attack. But either way, it doesn't really matter. He's going to win that one. He's definitely going to win this one. So good game. So we're going to go ahead and move on to game 3. And whoever wins this does win the tournament 5-0. So we begin with Swampert. He begins with Medicham. So I prefer the Swampert, as I mentioned before, in this situation. Medicham is not bad either, I guess, but I like being the Swampert because we could take some of these power-up punches. He could take this Hydro Cannon, but you never really like to take all of this damage early on. You don't like using the shield either, but you don't like taking the damage. So I believe against Ice Savager, we began with Swampert all 3 games, I believe. But firing off that Hydro Cannon, trying to get to another one, not able to do so. So that is okay. So we bring in Medicham, and let's see what happens. He fires off a Power-Up Punch. He might be the one with the Psychic on Medicham. I don't know. I think there was somebody else besides Corvera that had it. No, he doesn't. He has Ice Punch. So I don't know who else it was. But either way, we feint him down with fast moves. And now we have an Ice Punch and a Power-Up Punch ready to go. So he does bring in Skarmory. Not really feeling too comfortable at this point, because we have a very low Medicham. So we get off another Power-Up Punch. At least we have some energy charged up, at least hitting that excellent as well. We are up a shield, but we're down to our last Pokemon, which is going to be Skarmory. Now, here's where I make a mistake. So he goes ahead and fires off his move. I don't block, which is what I should do. But I was afraid he would get to another sky attack. So before trying to, he does get to another sky attack. But after this, I should have just fainted him down with fast moves. I went ahead and clicked on my sky attack, and that was dangerous because he's still up a shield and he has a Swampert in the back. So I could have had enough for 2 sky attacks right now. Burning the shield and then doing a lot of damage to him with a second sky attack. Right now, I really risked a lot because I got the sky attack off, which took his shield, but then I had to get to another sky attack, which we do get to. But it was still really risky in my opinion. Because right now he gets to his move, and we're going to block that, and he could have gotten to another Hydro Cannon. He said he was there, or he was almost there, something like that, so he could have gotten to it. So I feel like I should have fainted that down with fast moves, but either way, we do go ahead and win. And if you take a look, we do win this tournament. It says Purple Kyogre YT is victorious, so we do go ahead and win that one. So back-to-back Mirror Cup wins, and if we take a look, I won, and then Corvera, and then I Scavenger if we're looking at tiebreakers, and Jokes lost 2 rounds, so he's a couple down. But overall, it was a fun tournament. I had a great time. I know a lot of people had a great time. Everybody that went had a great time. We were all talking about Pokemon, laughing, talking about, different cups that we could do in September while we wait for Season 2, throwing around Season 2 ideas. So it was definitely a lot of fun. We all had great matches. We all had a great time. It's always fun hanging out with these guys, hanging out with these people. I love it. Cannot wait to do it again next week or this coming weekend when we have our regional tournament. And so that's me in the middle, I Scavenger on the left, who technically tied for second, but he got third based on tiebreakers, and Corvera on the right, who I played in the second round. He won out. He beat Jokes. Actually, both of them beat Jokes in the tournament. I didn't play Jokes, obviously, but yeah, so first, second, third. So really fun tournament to participate in, and I cannot wait for the regional tournament. And if you guys had a recent tournament, definitely let me know how it went, and was it a Boulder Cup, and how do you do? And so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.